I'm not entirely sure what has happened over the past week, but it's like Xbox modding just got a revolution that's going totally unnoticed. There are a ton of great new releases for Fallout 4 on PC and Xbox One, yet some of those Xbox releases are going terribly unnoticed. There's a couple mods on this list that in my eyes kind of revolutionize one aspect of this game. They're one of those mods that you download now and probably never uninstall, something that should have been there from day one. Either way, we're taking a look at some of the best mod releases over the past week for Fallout 4. If you guys enjoy the content, you can leave a like or subscribe. So first and foremost, we do have Workshop Framework. This is going to be a new mod from King Gath, the mod author behind Sim Settlements. This mod's going to accomplish a few things. A big chunk of the awesome new things brought to the table, though, are for other mod authors, adding in new things that they can abuse and manipulate with their up and coming mods. And basically what that means is this is going to act as a framework for future mods, so I wouldn't be shocked in the coming months if you see a bunch of cool new workshop mods as a result of this one. For just regular users though, it actually adds in quite a few nice quality of life features. One of which is basically now in workshop mode, when you place down a settlement recruitment beacon, it'll actually just recruit a group of settlers immediately. You'll no longer have to wait and sleep day after day waiting for that first, second, and third settler. Now it'll just be much more instantaneous. And even beyond that, it'll actually auto-assign your settlers to defensive equipment and certain other things you do place down. Very similar to how it works in Sim Settlements. And even though Workshop Framework is cool, the real star of the show is the tag-along mod, that with Workshop Plus. This mod's also by King Gath, and it basically is taking advantage of the new framework that he did build. And more or less, after installing this mod, you're going to have a variety of different options. Some of the most notable are, now in Fallout 4's workshop mode, you will have an undo button. You could bind it to Control-Z, so when you move something, accidentally delete something, you can click Control-Z and just undo that, take one step backwards. Even beyond that, you could actually have a redo button, you could have a cloning button, and there's other functionality like actually making it so when you enter into workshop mode, you will now fly around. It's like a true workshop mode. In addition to giving you a speed boost so you don't walk at a snail's pace. These are also hotkeyable, so you can toggle them on and off as you do want to do various building. But honestly, this mod adds in all that and a bunch of other features that should have been in the game to begin with. It really makes workshop mode feel like a proper kind of forge mode from some of the older Halo games. Even if you're not a massive user of workshop mode, like I'm not, the changes brought to the table with this are going to be applicable to pretty much anybody. I personally only really use it with Sim Settlements, but it just makes the whole process a lot simpler, and it's one of those mods again that I think I'll download now and simply never uninstall. So a few weeks ago, I showed you guys the mod Project Phoenix, what was effectively a DLC-sized quest and story mod for Fallout 4. If you've never checked out that mod, I will have a link to it down below. I definitely recommend doing so. It gives you something totally new and unique to do in the game. Well, now we have the release of Rising Phoenix. This is going to be a shorter but continuation of that Project Phoenix story, and it's equally awesome. In the background, I'm showing you some clips from the trailer of this mod itself, and even some from the mod author's gameplay. With quest mods like this, I try to not spoil too much, but this one's particularly cool. Again, you need to have played Project Phoenix, so just in that way, it's cool to see some of those characters return and the factions that you do experience. But even beyond that, this one actually has some lasting rewards. There's certain secret and side quests that you can do along with this, but also you can get a player home that you just kind of get. I love that kind of stuff with these mods. It makes it feel like what you did really had a purpose, and it affects you and your game for a while to come. This mod only serves to make the original mod Project Phoenix even better, so if you somehow haven't played it, I would recommend downloading both of these and giving them both a try. So we have the standard Gauss in Fallout 4 and coming back in Fallout 76. We have the old school throwback version that was added in through Creation Club, but now we do have the prototype Gauss. This mod's going to add in a new and customizable piece of equipment into Fallout 4. It's definitely in a similar vein to those other two, but it without a doubt has its own uniqueness also. So right off the bat, I think this one looks particularly good. When I think of a Gauss, it kind of matches this, like it's what I would picture in my head to an extent. Outside of that, it does feature different customization options. You could change which kind of energy it will fire, that ranging from the traditional Gauss to other things like plasma and even further options like making it an institute variant. And also the reloads for this one, I really enjoy. I don't know what it was, I think it was just really quick and snappy and to the point, but it was very satisfying to actually reload this thing, which is fairly odd considering I've been playing the game for years at this point. It's very rare that I actually find reloads to be satisfying because I've pretty much seen most of what's been done in that space. And then finally, I know this will appeal to some of you, this doesn't actually integrate into the leveled list, or at least it didn't seem like it did. It basically is going to have one static location where you can go and get it, making it feel particularly unique and powerful, which it is, so it's very fitting. Then we do have the BF4 animation pack for the Beretta M9FS. This is going to be by Zest of Lemon. He makes a lot of these animation packs for various released mods. This one basically being a recreation of the animations you do see in the game Battlefield 4 for the recently released M9 by Fading Signal. So the animations themselves on this one are going to be quite notable, both the running as well as the actual reloading. But even beyond that, I actually noticed when you sway around with this thing in your hand now, it is a little bit different. It's way more like that Battlefield feel. I don't really know how to describe it. It's just, if you played Battlefield games, you've seen this and you know what I'm talking about. It makes various other tweaks that are a little bit more minor, like tweaking the sounds of the reload and the fire. The fire rate itself is actually slightly different. But one of the more notable changes that I personally like is when you're actually holding this thing in your hand, it's slightly smaller. Fading Signal's original variant was a little bit on the large side, and as the mod author describes it, the receiver mesh on this one was slightly downsized to more accurately match the one that does appear in Battlefield, which more accurately represents the one that appears in real life. All in all, if you're enjoying the M9, which hopefully you are, this is going to be a good mod to add to your game that I think makes it even a little bit better. So now for the port report of the week, we first do have cross blades. This is something I showed you guys last week, basically adding in 4 new and really cool blades for you to use in Fallout 4. It's pretty much one of the best packs like this that we have for the game thus far, and everything included in this is extremely high quality. It's by Nero, the same mod author behind all the other cross mods, so it's definitely to be expected. The laser sword it adds in particular, I think is a favorite and something that I love seeing implemented into the level list of some of the enemies in this game. But hey, maybe that first one wasn't enough. In addition, we actually have the Pancor Jackhammer. So this one is definitely a cool mod, but it's not perfect. It's not trying to win any awards for the highest quality. But for me at least, it was a ton of fun to use. You could change the different ammo types to get incendiary or explosive, and you can modify it to have a very large magazine size and just kind of go to town on various enemies. And that in and of itself is one of the best things to do in Fallout 4. Either way, that's pretty much going to wrap it up for this video. With September coming to a close, it was a pretty big month. I hit like several milestones over that past month. And obviously come October, a lot of us are going to be playing Fallout 76. I'm going to the event in just a few days, and I should be able to get to play it myself, and then a few days after that, actually share it with all of you. But while I'm there, I know there's certain things I will be allowed to share, so if you guys do follow me on Twitter, you can get a good look at some of those things, if you want to. There's a link down below. And then of course, only shortly after that, we do have Red Dead Redemption 2 and Fallout 76's beta. Either way, as always, again, I thank you all for watching. I do hope you enjoyed this one, and I hope to see you guys all next time. Later.